Hey ladies and gents, it's Zem back and we are playing the SU-130PM, the new Russian Premium Tier 8 tank destroyer. Right now we have a winter event, do 10 missions, and you get this tank for free. I did half of them, got 50% off, so it's like $32, $35, something like that. I just don't have the time, and fuck you Wargaming for making me grind out just what I did. Yeah. So, what do we get with this tank? You do get 2 million credits. You get a free tier 10 or a free tier 8 camouflage and some other shit that you get with it if you do all the missions. Like I said, I did 50% of them. Bought the tank. So, what is this tank? Surprisingly enough, this wasn't exactly a paper tank either. This is the upgraded version of an actual real prototype tank. And I shouldn't even say prototype. They actually produced 24 of these tanks. So a cat by the name of Gorlitsky was a Russian developer of SPG guns, and eventually he got moved to a plant and was tasked with developing SPGs. That was kind of a multi-purpose. He's probably more well known for like the SU-100. This is one of his creations right here. This was a very dangerous tank for a German armor, except for maybe like the Tiger II and the Jagdtiger and the Ferdinand. Other than that, this thing punched right through just about everything. This was one of his bigger successes, and then SU-122 was one of his creations. Anyway, Goritsky, besides his wartime development, at the end of World War II, he started looking at some other. Essentially, he was looking for a all-in-one SPG. It could support infantry, it could destroy fortifications, and of course, could destroy tanks. And he started looking around, and he looked at the German Waffenträgers. And he goes like, "Hey, this looked like a pretty good idea." Now, considering at the time, there was really nothing like that in the Russian army. So in the mid-50s, he developed what would be called the SU-130P. This tank, like I said, actually existed, and you guys better fucking thank me because I went on a bunch of Russian pages to find this shit. So I'm probably right now have some sort of virus currently eating my. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. The pop-ups are ridiculous. So anyway, oh look at the kitty. Anyway. He developed the SU-100P. They built 24 of these tanks with the rear chassis and whatnot. So this was actually a vehicle, right? This tank was put in production. Very lightly armored, very mobile. He was going, like I said, very similar to what the German Waffenträgers were during World War II. What was interesting about this vehicle, most of the Russians at the time, if they developed a chassis for like a medium tank, they would put a tank destroyer. This was a one-off tank chassis. He built this from scratch. This was nothing that was anything like anything else the Russians had at the time for chassis-wise. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting build. So he built this, the SU-100P. Eventually, it was upgraded to the SU-100PM, which had a better chassis. It had a infrared scope mounted. This tank actually does exist. This is actually a picture of it, I do believe. Yeah, this is actually a picture of it in Kalinka, the tank museum in Russia. But yeah, that's the history. That's at least the prototype. Well, I shouldn't even say prototype. This was actually production tank. What was interesting is after they developed this tank, they produced, like I said, 24 of them. However, it was the mid-50s, and the Russians, Khrushchev was totally into rocket mounted on everything. So this thing kind of went out of, that's why they only built 24 of them, right? So, but the design process eventually wanted to upgrade this tank to a 130 millimeter cannon. I believe it was the similar one to the IS-7, which of course is a naval gun. So there was like I said, this thing did actually exist. Definitely not like what we have in game with the 130 millimeter gun here. But for the most part, this thing was a real tank. At least Yeah, and it was actually produced, like I said, very small numbers, but it was produced. So, history of the tank, there you go. Now, so there's been a lot of comparisons. People have been talking about this thing is similar to the Scorpion G. It is close, but it's not quite. So we're going to go through it. I actually played this tank quite a bit this weekend. I picked it up on Sunday. I did half the missions, and I picked it up and I started playing it. So I actually, with the 100% crew that you get with the BIA on it, I started out. I'm already at 59% on the third skill already. So it's not really hard to level up this tank. It's not too shabby. And considering my 5 straight losses when I first started the thing, I think I ended up with almost a 60% weight. And I did get a couple ace tankers in it, which was kind of nice. This gun is extremely good. I won't lie to you. It's as good as the 128mm on the Scorpion G with more alpha. 520 average damage per shot, 240 average pen, 43 average pen, which is slightly less than the Scorpion G. 11.48 for the reload time, which is also slightly less than the Scorpion G. 32 for the gun traverse speed, 7 degrees of gun depression, and 77.5 for the gun traverse limits. So it's not a fully rotational turret, which again, like I said, is a little less than the Scorpion G's. 1.96 for the aim time, 0.33 dispersion, so not quite as accurate, but very similar aim times, and about 2,719 average damage per minute. This, of course, is almost identical to the Scorpion G's average damage per minute, running a full crew, or running a BIA crew, rammer. So it's very similar to this tank. Of course, like I said, I'm not running food or any of that kind of stuff. I never do. But yeah, it's very similar to the Scorpion G's actual average damage per minute. I think there's only like 50 average damage per minute difference between the two of them. However, the big difference, of course, is, I shouldn't even say a big difference, 24.55. It's lighter than the Scorpion G with a 400 engine power. However, they have very similar specific power to weight ratio, and it's a slightly bit faster and a little bit better traverse speed than the Scorpion G. I'm actually going to do a video on the comparison. We're just going to fucking go through it bit by bit and see which one, is what it is. However, the Scorpion G is faster off the off take. It does have seems like a better ground resistance. This tank, it does not. The Scorpion G just seems quicker, at least on the move. It's not, top speed is not as fast, but you get next to the Scorpion G will pull away from you, and even worse when it gets to a hill. So there is that. I mean, it's not quite as mobile, in my opinion, than the Scorpion G, but pretty fucking close. I mean, not too bad. Concealment is 33.55. We're ninja tanking here. This thing is ridiculous. It's actually quite a bit better. I believe the Scorpion G is like 29, something like that, and with camo on it, full camo. I'm only at 60% on this camo, so not too bad. Spotting 460, I'm just running binocs on it, and of course 746 for the signal range. We'll go through the comparison with the Scorpion G versus this tank here a little bit later. Weaknesses of this tank, of course, it has no fucking armor at all. This thing will get set. You will lose ammo racks. This is the ammo rack in the back. You get hit by an artillery shell, you fucking kiss your ass goodbye, because it's horrific the amount of damage you will take. Scorpion Gs get one shot almost all the time. This is exactly the same way. With this large open area here, no armor at what to speak of, you will get wrecked just to buy about everything and anything. It's ridiculous. Anything with HE, of course, if you've played the Scorpion G, you know what I'm talking about. Anything shoots you, you will blow up into little pieces with HE shells. Artillery loves these things. Same way with the Scorpion Gs. You get hit by anything 8 and above, you have a pretty good chance of getting one shot. That's how literally these things just soak it up. The gun, surprisingly enough, for being a Russian, is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Not quite Russian medium type accuracy and handling, but pretty fucking close. This almost reminds me of a like I said, more of a German gun. Of course, it'll trail you and all that kind of stuff, but for the most part, it is a pretty decent gun. I definitely will not complain about it. Would I buy this full price? No, don't ever play full price for anything from wargaming. do at least half the missions. Get it for $30, $35, whatever it is. If you can do more of that in the next, before the time runs out, get 60% off or 70% off. Do it. Don't pay 70 some bucks for this tank. That's just a ripoff. If you get it down below 40, $30, whatever, yeah, go ahead and pick it up. It is not bad. And we got Christmas coming up too, so there's probably going to be sales on this thing eventually. So I'm just running my typical Binox rammer and of course gun lane drive with the enhanced gun lane drive with this. And like I said, you get 100% crew when you start out with the first BIA on it. So yeah, it was pretty easy. This tank I suffered through without, the first, 15, 20 games without 6 cents. So yeah, it was kind of entertaining. But yeah, it's a good tank. I would give this like a 1.5 thumbs up. It is really quite nice. So I'm going to bring up the gameplay for you guys to check out this Russian Marvel. Alright guys, back with the first game in the SU-130PM. This was, I think, my third game in it. Something like this. This was a tier 10 match. I was just going to kind of show you guys what this thing can do against tier 10s. It is viable against tier 10s. Of course, it is a tank destroyer, and it's a tier 8 with a pretty, like I said, 243 pen, 320 with the heat round if you need it. But for the most part, yeah, it does quite well. Now, this game was a clusterfuck from start. Yeah, literally from start. It was ugly in every fashion, in every possible way, because we got one guy going. There he goes. All by himself. We got the 8.8. He's backed up here, and he's gonna hang out there. So we got the LTs. We have an LT. The two tier 10s we have on our team, which are platooned, they're playing center there. We have an M5355 on the opposing team, and of course one conch coming up here. Is he going to be nice, kind enough to stick his head up here? Probably not. Our 277s and whatever, there's lots of TDs back there. There's 4 of them. So this should be interesting. So we got one guy on the hill, one guy behind me, and the 1-2. There's a few there. So the bad chat's picked up the objects, 277s, the platoon on the opposite side here. So I'm going to try to roll over here. He's already almost dead. He's down over half his health here. I'm going to see if I can help him out a little bit here, and try to give him some support. Unfortunately, those 277s are just hanging out there. He's actually getting shot from the conch as well. And I think the 277s are slowly but surely making their way up here. Let's see if we can get over here and help. They have the Falk up on top of the hill. So we're going to have to get a little bit close here, try to get them in range here so I can help him. And we're going to wait. Okay, come on, buddy. Like I said, the turret only goes to 77 degrees roughly. Let's see here. Where are you at? There we go. Now we got you. First shell in there, 531. It's got decent shell velocity. All right, so we've lost this entire side of the map. And we are currently 2 minutes in the game. T-49's almost dead. Lovely. And our tier 10s, I got one at 37% health. So I'm out of here. And this is what I said, like I said, about the mobility of this tank. Is pretty close, similar to the Scorpion G. So you relocate, get the fuck out of there, get yourself in a better position, and get moving. This Panther 8.8, he has no. Yeah, he's still hanging out there. I'm guessing he's probably going to get wrecked, possibly. We're going to back up here and see if we can put a shot into that conch. He looks like he was poking over a little bit here. Nope, he wasn't going to give me any more. So the 8.8, he's just realized that he was getting pushed, and the 277 comes over here. Our LT gets wrecked. He's putting a couple shots into the 277s. However, I'm not in a position to really do much there. This side doesn't look too much better. We got a T-30, Tiger 2. We got all kinds of tanks right here. So let's see what we can do. It's not going well. Right now it's 1-1, and I didn't get the penetration on the armor. Go figure. And we are still not doing so hot here. Like I said, with 4 tanks there now. They've got their light tank, and they're all pushing up in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work well for us Since they're all back right in here, there's all low health. The Conk's already picked up one, and of course the artillery will be here shortly. So back into the bush here. We are 4-1. Wheezy's getting wrecked, and the 277s are pushing here. We have 1 277 here, and they picks up the T49, and we are down 6-1. Let's see here. Let's see if we can pick up the light as he comes over the hill. Maybe, possibly. Come on. Oh, just outside. That's what I get for not paying attention. So we still have the Wheezy 111. We still have a Conk T30. Have the FE sitting here. I'm not sure what they're up to. This was Sunday, man. This is ×5 weekend at its finest. So much of this shit. Pick up a nice shot in there at 420 on his lower plate. Like I said, concealment on this tank is very, very good. It's actually really good, and it does a nice job with this. So here we pick up the other 277 heat coming through here. Ooh, just a little outside. Back up. Didn't get spotted, but I do get spotted by the 430. He's right at my edge here. So we back up here. We got the Type 59 and a bunch of tanks hanging out here. Let's see if we can pick up the other 277 here. There we go. Finish off that object 277. And we're just going to stay not lit as much as possible here. Pull up here. Oh, come on. Show me your bottom plate. Put the bottom plate in at 535. You know, with 520 average damage, it doesn't roll. I don't think I've ever rolled at 600 with it yet. But for the most part, it doesn't too bad. So, still looking. What else we got coming in here? Nothing. 277. We are fucking surrounded. This looks like fucking Custer's last stands here. Put a nice hit in on the Type 59. And like I said, I'm just trying to farm out as much damage as I can. I don't have 6 cents, but I'm assuming since I'm not getting fucking shot that I'm not getting spotted. So, like I said, plays quite well with its camouflage. You can pull some of this stuff off pretty well. All right, we're sitting here waiting here. Nothing. Let's see here. We got Chrysler. Oh, there he goes. Picks up nice. Put a nice 538 to him. It is a little bit nice to be able to roll those big 500 numbers. Charioteer's pulled up here. It is 512 right now. Everybody is fucking. Oh, nope. This kind of sucks not having that turret that can go all the way around, but it's not too bad either. Put a nice shell into the bottom of the Chrysler GF. We're at about 3,500 here, and I'm the last one alive. Go figure. Oh, one of those deals. Here comes the LT-432. Fast enough, finish him off, and I have waiting for artillery to nuke me as usual. Nope. Looking. Pull up in here. We got a base capture coming. Object 277. He's rolling up here. He's like, I got this, boys. He does have it. I'm pretty much fucked anyway. I look at it. As soon as I get spotted, I'm dead. Shows me his underplate. Puts a nice 550 into him. And, yeah. So, like I said, not bad for dealing with tier 10s. It has plenty of pen for that kind of stuff. And it does, and with the alpha on it, it has the ability to really, really make them go, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this, right? I don't know if I really want to mess with this TD if I can't see him. So, with that said, like I said, decent mobility, nice camo, get around the battlefield, set yourself up positions, farm damage as you do. I had a lot of 3K plus games in this tank, and worked out pretty quick, pretty nicely. I got 2 more videos for you guys, and you can check this tank out. Alright guys, back with our second battle in the SU-130PM. Tight game. Good game. Nice, tight, fun game to play here. We played, I don't know, I think I had 3 or 4 real nice games with this, right around the 4K plus with it. So it does have the ability to farm lots of damage. In this tier, being in the top tier, I should say, where everybody else is smaller than I am, this tank is kind of, it's a little ridiculous. With that 520 average damage, 520 alpha, most 7s and 8s, or I should say 7s and 6s, you can finish off almost all of their health in one shot. Like I said, if you roll 550 plus, maybe even 600, there's a few of these tanks you can actually fucked up pretty quick. So, you got the T-34 coming up the hill here. Put a shell into him. 499. Now we're going to back up here. Get into a little bit better position. Let's see, come on. Nope. And he doesn't actually hit me. Unfortunately, with an HE shell. Because why wouldn't you fire an HE shell out of a T-34-3? He hits the rock next to me and splashes me for 211. Go figure. Now, if he actually would have hit me, he probably would have did like 900 damage and I'd be fucking dead. Because I shit you not, this thing does not take HE shells at all. So, back up here. We're waiting for our next target here. Now, I always blind fire that bush over there. Just because. Seems time or not, they usually have a tendency to have to sit there. TDs do. So, let's back up here. Really like some of these heavies to poke around. Where are you, buddy? And since I know there's a Tiger 131, and he comes around going a KV-85, we'll just throw that out there for 545. I love that gun. And we're just going to push ourselves up here so we do not get shot by a return fire here. And I'm looking, okay, E-25 picks up the E-25. Mickey, he plays a hell of a game in this match. You're going to watch at the end here what I'm talking about here. Between the two of us, it gets a little dicey. Really dicey. So we're up 4-1 right now, and I'm thinking, fuck, we got this, right, boys? 5-1, and we almost got the KV-85 almost knocked out here. But it's time to get probably a little too what's the word for it? Confident here. Now with a dead driver, this thing's slow as molasses. And not only is it slow, water, sand, its ground resistance is kind of shit. I'll honestly be with you. You get in some water with this thing, it turns like a truck. And I'm not talking like a German truck, like a Russian truck. Pretty shitty. So for the most part, yeah, stay out of things. Try to stay on the hard ground as much as possible. Like I said, if you're on hard ground like pavement or in that kind of stuff, this has pretty decent maneuverability, but the ground resistance is not good. Like I said, the next video I'm actually going to work on some hills with this thing. With this weird 7 degrees of gun depression and the low silhouette, you really have to work to get this thing to work on a hill, right? So the T-37, oh, he is right here. Let's see if I can squeaky over here and get a shot into him. Around the corner we come. Alright, so I thought he was in that bush right there. We'll put a shell out there. Nope. He didn't go. I thought the IS-6 probably would have picked him up if he went the other side, but apparently not here. We're going to stay right here and not get wrecked by artillery or anything else. So now they've evened it up back 6-6. They have a T-34 left. We've lost not any of our 8 so far here. So pick up the T-34. He's coming across here. I'm glad I didn't fire because they actually tracked him. Otherwise, I probably would have missed that. Put a nice shell into him. You see the numbers I've been rolling. Well, for the most part, over 500, 550, whatever. So, like I said, the alpha is nice. It definitely makes other tanks think really want to think about what they're doing here. P-43 goes off the wall. IS-6 starts to push up. I'm not terribly sure why he's over there. Makes it for interesting here. So let's pull around the corner here. And, oh, apparently there's a rock there yet. Can't see through that. Pick up the T-37. B-43 BIS is getting wrecked. See if we can back up here and see if we can help him out. Nope, can't quite do it. There's the Wheezy. Oh, let's see here what we got. And I'll be honest with you, this gun is pretty decent. But you got to be careful with that Wheezy. Apparently we're just a little too high and must have hit the gun mantlet here. Okay, so the IS-6 is charging him. What are you doing, buddy? Don't go that way. There we go. Pick up a nice shot into the side of him. Can't quite finish him. Leave him on 222 health. Oh, come on. Can I reload fast enough to get him up the hill before? Oh, nope. He gets out and behind. So now we're picked up to 9-10. There's me and the E-25. We got the Hellcat, the TVP, and the M12 on the other side. However, this isn't going to work. We're going to have to go back and cover base. So the E25 comes with me. Like I said, he knows what he's up. He knows the score, man. We're gonna pull over here. Maybe we'll get some shots here, but no, that ain't gonna work either. So you didn't even have camouflage in that tank. Don't need it, right? T25. So down the hill we come. Everything's been spotted on the other side of the map except for the Wheezy. Except for this E25. And we're gonna back up here. I don't know what he was up to. I thought he was AFK. I hit him for 548. And then I pulled over here to finish him off, and I realized, shit, he is still alive. And I probably waited a little too long, but that's all right. I have him here. I took a little more damage than I should have, but at the same time, making sure he was dead, I won't have to worry about chasing him across the map. I would have just chased him down. E25s are a pain in the ass for the most part, so leaving them alive is never the best option. So we got the SP1C here, and we got the M12. They're coming back here. E25, he's got the full health. He's going to let him spot. M12 is moving. Thankfully, the RD is paying attention. And we're going to go up the hill here because we know we have an SP1C coming in here, and for sure an AT-15A. The Wheezy's probably still at base, or if not, he's going to be coming in behind us here shortly. So away we go. M12 is setting up for shots. Hopefully, maybe. And the E25 is going to go up there and spot on top of the hill. Now, I'm just going to play rear cover here. He's full health. AT-15 is slow as fuck. AT-50A is slow as fuck. The SB1C is the only quick one there. So, most likely he's not going to have to deal with them. However, the SB1C is like, shit, and runs into the E25. So, we're going to back up here. I had a feeling, of course, like I said with the Wheezy, that there would be a pretty good chance that he was probably coming this way. They have a tendency to do that. He probably thought at one point we were probably all up on top of this hill. So we're just going to hang out right here and wait, see what happens. So the E25, he's, like I said, paying attention. He's off, going to see if he can spot the AT-15A. We have the M12 set up to shoot. I wish the M12 would have moved, but at the same time, he's probably thinking, he probably wasn't, but, that's not how it works. If he would have moved back up on top of the hill, I'm assuming he was probably thinking that the AT-15A was coming, which he was right to think that. Yep, the Wheezy 112 picks him up, so we know where the Wheezy 120 is at. So we're just going to stay here. Got the binocs up, and that's one nice thing about the turreted TDs. You don't lose that binocs here. So let's pick him up here. We're going to wait. Just wait here just a little bit. E25's paying attention. He's off on the run. There's no point in spotting now because he doesn't have artillery to help him with, and he hasn't picked up the AT-15A. So we're going to sit here and wait, see what happens with the Wheezy. There he is, coming in here. Oh, that was weird. Like I said, I went for the lower part of his tank, couldn't do it. He didn't spot me, and now he's sitting behind the rock. So the E25 is paying attention. He's not going to try to charge in there with the Wheezy. He's going to go around. He's got the speed for it here. I'm just going to keep him locked down and make sure he doesn't move so the E25 can, Mickey can come around from the rear and give him a little bit of, how's your father? So there he comes. He's still full health. He's sitting at 4 kills. Let's see what happens. Comes around the corner here. There's the Wheezy. Wheezy's like, shit. Gets him for 132. I'll finish him off because we want to save as much HP as we can. So we got the AT-15A left and 2 artillery here. I'm trying to stay safe as much as possible, and that's about the time AT-15A shows up. Yeah, it's time to move. Now, I didn't get an artillery shell there. That was pretty much, I'm thinking to myself, that means they weren't set up to shoot here. So if they're not over here, then where are they at? So it's, you're always thinking to yourself, all right, I did come around the corner just a little too fast. I probably should have waited just another second or two to completely vanish. But artillery pieces, if I play artillery, I will wait that extra 2 seconds and then fire, hopefully catching them as they come out and move. So E25 is up. He's, like I said, he's full health. I got 500 health. I can't take an artillery shell because either one of those tanks can one-shot me right now. Pretty easily. I've been hit by the GW Panther for over 700, no problem. So, switch to the premium round. I know it's a lower tier tank, but he's got to die, and I can't bounce. So Mickey's up there. He's rolling in there. AT-15As in themselves are pretty fucking stupid for armor. Slow, but hey, what are you going to do, right? So he's playing the around the round. He's got them. And, of course, artillery fires. Their artillery fires. And puts a nice stun on the AT-15A. And Mickey's up on top of him. And we'll pull up here quick. We're going to make one shot, and then we're out of here. Mickey's sitting there, nice position to finish him. Finishes him off. And we're just going to pull around to the backside of this rock and hope. And we're going to hug this for dear life. There's one artillery. And... ooh. There's the other one. Shit. That was weird. So he puts me down at 340. We know where the two artillery's at. And we're on the run. I don't know if I was just surprised when I pulled the trigger or what. I think I was probably surprised. I actually didn't realize I even shot my gun until I watched the replay. Good to know. So IS-6, go for the draw. What? We don't go for draws here, man. So we split it up. He's going to go that way to make sure there's at least one artillery, and that's, of course, where the GW showed up. So we know pretty sure that both of them are there. I'm going to head over there just in case Mickey doesn't finish him off. He's got his top gun. Yeah. And he's got the Hummel left. He's going to get 7 kills. Unless, of course, the Hummel gets crazy stupid here and blows him up. Nope. He's going to finish him off. There we go. So, between the two of us, we got 9 kills. Nice little game. Like I said, you can see the mobility of the tank. Some of its issues, some of its problems. It is a Russian gun for the most part. Pretty accurate, but it does fucking troll you when you're like, eh. One of those kind of deals. So I got one more game for you guys to check out. All right, fellas and ladies, back with the last game in the SU-130PM, and this is Red Shire. I picked this video more along the facts. This is kind of give you an idea about the hill fighting with this hill. I mean, obviously this game has got lots of hills in it, and TDs. Typically there's trees on those hills, and you have to, for the most part, you're going to be sitting in a bush and playing off a hillside of some sort. So this thing has, with that weird low profile, I mean, it's a low profile tank, literally, compared to the Scorpion G, and 7 degrees of gun depression, which thankfully isn't necessarily right over its side. It's actually to the front too, as far as I can tell. You do have to work this tank a little bit on hillsides and slopes to make it work here. So we're going to pull up here. We got a T-50-2 and a 1375 ahead for spotting. They pick up the Comet. And we're going to try to get up the hill. There's 3 artillery and 2 M44s. When I was talking about this disaster of HE mess that this thing is, I've been hit by M44s for 6, sometimes almost 700 damage from a tier 6 artillery. That's how much it loves that. HE loves it. I mean, it pins everywhere. So like I said, even a tier 6 arty can fuck you up. So like I said, you got to be a little bit of creative with how you move this tank on a hillside. 7 degrees gun depression here. We got the T-50-2. He's moved up a little too far. And of course the Comet is going to take advantage of that pretty quickly here. So we're going to move up. I'm looking for some shots here. Not finding any here. See if the P-43. Nope. Like I said, I'm hugging this beautiful ridge here. We got the VK-4502 going across the backside. Where are you at? There we are. Oh, just a little outside. I was praying to fucking Stalin. Of course, it didn't work out that way. So let's work up here. Oh, there we go. Come on, get it down. Pick up the Wheezy 120. Oh, put a nice 543 into him. And back off. I didn't get spotted. By this time, I had finally got 6 cents. So I wasn't feeling too bad here. Finds the OI. Can I find... Nope, he's behind the hill. And let's creep on up in here and see what we can work. Like I said, there isn't just enough gun depression. You can, for the most part, make this work. You get too much of a slope, of course. You really have to jockey this thing. It's kind of like if you played Russian mediums, you know what I mean? Or the not just the Russian mediums, but the Chinese, constantly working on that. The P-43 was kind enough to poke out through there. He gets wrecked. Ooh, and the Lorraine 40T picks him up here. And we got the T-37. What's he up to? Nothing. I do have a Tiger 1 over here. We're sitting 3-1 right now. The other side's pretty much got it. Apparently there's just 2 tanks there, so we're having a little bit of a problem here. Let's see if here we can squeeze up and over here. Unfortunately, no. Can't quite get it over there. I'm not sure if the 37 spotted me or that Tiger 1. So free beer for me is hanging out here. Like I said, you really have to be somewhat creative on these slopes. And here, for example, I don't have much of a chance to get completely set there. Put a nice shell into the Tiger 1, track him, and we can finish him off here. Let's do that quick. Around the corner. There we go. Put another shell into him for 544, and he's at 31 hit points. Let's see if they can finish him off here. Ooh, there's 1 artillery shell. Come on, buddy. One more. 19 hit points. I get 9 out of them, really. So let's see if we can pick this guy up quick. One more dead tank's always good. He pulled around all the way around the corner, so that's not going to work. So we back up here. We got the T-37, the Wheezy 131, and they've finally broken out the other side, so we're not looking too shabby here. 5-2. Work that slope, boys. That's what you have to do with this tank. Always trying to figure out the angles, and it does, like I said, it does help with that. Having a turret on it, right? You couldn't be doing this with a regular Soviet TD, so you have to, like I said, work it a little bit here. Pull around the corner here, pick up the SU-122. Let's see if I get the... Ooh, can't quite get the idler on him. However, to put a nice shell into him. And we have the Wheezy 131, the T-37, and I have enough support on that side now. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive. You know, typically TDs, if you sit too long, you're not going to get any damage. So what we're going to do is see if we can get a little spotting here. Pick up the T-37, T-137. I'm thinking the Wheezy 131 here. We're just going to try to proxy spot whatever's laying on top of this hill. There's the SU-122-44, and of course the Wheezy. And well, oh, and this is the kind of the problem with this. Don't get yourself into a situation where if you get rushed by a light tank or a medium, you will get screwed because you just don't have the traverse speed along with the turret rotation to really make a difference. All right, SU-122, he's like, I got this. Oh, pick up them, and we pick up the T-37 coming over the top. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, I would not be this aggressive because I have all these tanks behind me, so I don't have a problem with being that aggressive. Relatively slow, like I said, on the hills and stuff. You can see some of its mobility issues. It's not the quickest. Nice backup speed, but like I said, the power to weight ratio, plus it's, I don't know, it seems like it has a really abysmal, I guess you would call, train resistance. So it does not work out the best for the train resistance. Like I said, the Scorpion G seems a little bit better at that. So pick up the SU-122-44. They're all coming through here, and all of the artillery is sitting in one area. I guess I should have charged across there and killed them all, but no, we're not going to do that here. That'd be crazy. So we're going to wait here, see if they poke up anything else. That's what TD does. You find a bush, camp it, you wait for other people to spot your stuff, and pick up the KV-85 coming here. Ooh, pick up a nice shot on the KV-85. And we have the T-44 left and one artillery piece. I don't care about the artillery. I want some more of that T-44 action. So we're going to see if we can go pound up. Oh, so close. Nope, no good. So let's see if we can go find that T-44. Once again, great mobility. Move around the battlefields. I should say great mobility. Better than your average mobility because it's the size of it. You know, it's, like I said, very similar to the Scorpion G for getting out and moving, except for as long as you're not on a hill or really, really soft ground. So the SU-100M1 comes in here. Yeah, and I'm just damage farming here. I was going to wait till this guy, he's like, all right, let me through there, buddy. We'll see if we can get in here and we'll corral him quick here. This is, like I said, one of those things that you don't really want to get into too much of a fight with one of these things. Ooh, there we go. Pick up a nice 487 on him. Unfortunately, since I don't have that great rotational turret, something like this will get you screwed. So, don't do as M does. Tell you again, don't do as Zem does. But yeah, like the tank, 1.5 thumbs up. Decent. I shouldn't say decent, very good. Love the gun. Mobility gets you around the map quite well. And, once you figure out some spots for it, this thing can farm a lot of damage. So with that said, have a good night. Thanks, guys.